All right, so we want to welcome you all to our webinar workshop this beautiful Wednesday morning. We appreciate you spending just a small part of your day with us. My name is Brian Griffin, a marketing assistant here at Messer Financial Group. Many of you are already familiar with Messer Financial, but in case you don't know, we are an FMO located in Mint Hill, North Carolina. We started with just 2 agents, and we're now serving thousands of agents across 40 states, and we're still growing. So today we will be talking with United Home Life about their amazing suite of products. They've been protecting people since 1948 and have maintained at least an A rating with AM Best for an incredible 58 consecutive years. So we're lucky to have a veteran in the insurance industry with us to walk us through the United Home Life's product line. Cindy Neese, a national marketing advisor with United Home Life, has been in the insurance industry for 35 years and focused on individual distribution. But the independent agents are her primary focus and passion, and we're lucky to have her here today. So to those of you in attendance this morning, we do have a special surprise. And we will be doing a drawing after the webinar, and Cindy will be sending the winner an amazing United Home Life umbrella. So now, in order to qualify, you must remain on the webinar until the very end. Now, this is the easiest qualification I can think of. So before we do get started, I want to go over the housekeeping rules. We're going to hold all questions until the end of the presentation. If you have a question, type it in the box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll address the question at the end of the presentation. So without any further delay, Ms. Cindy Neese.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for your time this morning. I'm delighted to be here to talk about the products that we offer and the niches that we fill. So just to get started, we are United Home Life and United Farm Family Life Insurance Companies. United Farm Family Life is the parent company of United Home Life. Let's see. There we go. United Home Life was founded in 1948 and United Farm Family in 1937. As you can see, we are very well positioned financially to honor the promises that we've made over the last 80 years to our policy owners. I will tell you that AM Best just affirmed the A- rating for UHL and the A rating for UFFL, and that's now 59 consecutive years. There are only 16 other life and health companies that can say they've held that rating for that length of time. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, when you think about the fact that United Home Life was founded in 1948 in the economic aftermath of World War II, and that United Farm Family Life was founded during the bleak years of the Depression, the fact that we are still here, still going strong with our proficient leadership and fiscal responsibility, we've survived these tumultuous times, even COVID-19, without any effect on our ratings, and we continue to prosper. In fact, in 2018, we paid $25.6 million out in claims. That's promises kept. So that's pretty amazing, and we continue to stay strong financially. We are stable, we are secure, and we're going to be here for the duration. And as Brian mentioned, we've been doing this for 30 years now, so we understand the simplified issue market. We really do. So our theme is life insurance made simple. Simplified issue, it's what we do, it's what we know, it's all we do. We don't do exams. We don't do any kind of fluids testing. We don't ask for APSs because we have found with APSs that about 92% of the cases where an APS has been requested, it doesn't change the underwriting decision. So we just really don't want to do APSs. They're expensive. They take a ton of time. Sometimes you can't get a doctor to fax everything in that we need, so we try not to do an APS at all. It's not productive. We do have issue ages down to 0 on one of our whole life plans. Our face amounts, one of the whole life plans is the minimum's $2,000, and the other plans for final expense are $5,000. All of our applications are yes, no questions. So it's either yes or it's no. We do have optional riders and benefits so that a policy can be custom tailored to your client. And every product we have, with the exception of Provider Whole Life, is on e-app. So during this time, when we're dealing with COVID, you still can take business over the phone using e-app, so long as your clients have an email address so that they can enter the application, sign it, and then send it back to you. Our product portfolio, there are 4 term products, there are 4 final expense plans, there's our Provider Whole Life, which is a standard preferred product on a simplified basis that has a built-in guaranteed issue benefit for children. It's a great way to insure a child and make sure that they have some coverage, because should a child develop, for example, juvenile diabetes, they become uninsurable. So this is a way to get coverage on a child upfront, just 30 days after they're born, and they'll be able to maintain that coverage and even use the GIB rider down the road, even if they develop some kind of serious health condition, because they're already covered. And then our last product is a great product for people who commute to work, for local police, local firemen, doctors, teachers, nurses. It's called Protector AD. It's an accidental death benefit plan. And as I said, all of our products are available on e-app except Provider. That one is still paper. So if you look at our term plans, there are 4 plans all on one application. Very simple. As I mentioned, it's yes, no. There's a 5-year look back on health conditions. And there's a free child rider available on face amounts of $100,000 or more. And that rider can be added even after the policy has been issued. So for example, if you put a term plan on a young married couple, and then later on when they have a child, they can get coverage, $5,000 in child rider coverage, no cost to them. They just need to fill out the child rider app, and we can add it to the existing plan. And then we also have a term plan that's available for insulin-dependent diabetics. That's our Term 20 DLX plan. So if you've got somebody who has diabetes and they are taking insulin, they could still qualify for a term plan up to $50,000. Otherwise, our term plans go up to $300,000 based on age. So, for example, if somebody wanted just a straight 20-year term and they're between the ages of 20 and 45, it's $300. Or $300,000. If they're ages 46 to 55, it's $225,000 max. And then 56 to 60 is $150,000 max. So we've got some room there to provide a great amount of coverage to cover a mortgage or other financial debt. For our final expense plans, we have 4, and they're all on one app. Again, it's simple. This time it's a 2-year look back, e-app and paper. We have our Express Issue Deluxe plan that's available for insulin-dependent diabetics, up to $50,000 in coverage if they qualify otherwise. And the issue ages on our final expense are 20 to 80. I was just talking with an agent the other day, and she mentioned the fact that she was thrilled to be able to get a final expense plan for a 43-year-old, because most companies start at 45 or 50 for their issue ages. We go down to 20. So keep that in mind. I mean, that's a great niche for us because we can cover client ages that other carriers don't take. So there are the 4 plans that are final expense, and one of them is guaranteed issue. And then our provider whole life plan is standard or preferred. Again, it's a great product for kids. There are a lot of built-in no-cost riders and benefits, and it goes down to age 0. Protector AD, again, as I mentioned, it's a great plan for local police or firemen. We'll take commercial window washers that other carriers won't take. We do long-haul truckers. We do lumberjacks, depending on what their focus is. It's a great plan, and it's a return of premium plan. I mean, who doesn't like getting all their premiums back if they don't use the coverage? It's age, gender, and tobacco neutral, which means for the face amounts that are offered, there are 3, 50, 75, and 100. The premiums, regardless of whether you're a smoker or male or female, how old you are, the premiums are fixed, and they're listed here on the screen. So at the end of 20 years, if the policy owner the coverage has not been used, the policy owner can request a return of the annual premiums. And so that's 20 annual premiums at the end of 20 years. Basically, the cost to them, if they do monthly premiums, is just the monthly mode factor. So it's a pretty good deal. And it's a way to give people who might not otherwise be able to get some coverage, at least some accidental death benefit coverage for a small amount of money. Our applications are easy to use. It's yes or no. There's no in between. There's no having to write out different things. It's yes, no. That's it. The final expense app is for whole life plans. The term app is for term plans. And we do also have a mobile quoting site, which can help you, where no login is required. And I will send the link to that to Brian. And then you can just set it up to do quotes if you want to without having to log into our website. So our immediate benefit plans are as follows. We've got 2 plans for insulin-dependent diabetics, a term plan and a permanent plan. We have a 2-year look-back for previously postponed and declined claims. So even if you've got a client that's been declined before, we may still be able to take them. We can take disabled clients, although they don't qualify for our best or least expensive final expense plan, they will qualify for Express Issue Deluxe if they qualify otherwise. And then all of our plans have a no-cost terminal illness accelerated benefit, which makes it helpful if something happens drastically to a client's health situation. We will accelerate almost the entire benefit to them upfront as long as, I think it's 12 months or less. The illness is expected to take their life within 12 months or less. Might be 6 months in some states. But that's a handy benefit to have, and of course there's no cost for that. For the modified benefit plans, we have 2. We have, I have some good news here. Our Express Issue Whole Life is a 2-year graded benefit plan. It's got a 1-year look back for cancer, heart attack, stroke, and heart surgery. Our Guaranteed Issue Whole Life plan is now a 2-year graded benefit, not 3. That's an error on the slide. So a 2-year graded benefit. There are no health questions. There's no PHI. I mean, it's basically get their demographic information and you're done. So 2-year graded benefits on both of those plans. If you want to look at our portfolio in a different way, we've listed here our standard and preferred product, and then table 4 to standard would be Express Issue Premier and the term 2030 and the 20 ROP. If it's a table 8 to standard, which includes insulin-dependent diabetics. It's the deluxe or DLX term. The table 16 to standard is EIWL, and the guaranteed issue is no health questions. And then we have the accidental death plan as a standalone product. And it's actually a great big accidental death benefit on a little tiny whole life plan. So there is some whole life bonus coverage there. We developed a sheet for agents and consumers that talks about, or that kind of defines what we're looking for. On the application, for example, it might say activities of daily living. This sheet gives a definition of what it is that we're looking for. So we've listed conditions on here, and the explanation of what we're looking for. So when you're going through the app, this is something the agents can use, or they can use with their clients, that talks about what we're actually looking for. And then this chart here is on the back of our product portfolio, and it has a sample build chart. It lists out different underwriting requirements, and on the front of this piece, which you can't see but we can send to you after the webinar, are all of our products, their minimum ages, maximum ages, the riders that are included. If there's any state variations in issue ages, we've listed those as well. So it makes a handy tool to keep in your car, because that little, where it says UHL, UFFL, it's actually a little tab, so you can just pull it up from between the seats or out of your briefcase or whatever. It's just a handy reference chart. But we've put those things together to help agents on sales calls, because I don't think anybody wants to be dragging out a big old brochure to flip through it to look for certain things. So we've got these tools into a relatively compact size and easy to understand. Oh, here goes our application. So if you're going along and you're checking no's, and all of a sudden you get to a yes question, for example, in the Express Issue Premier section, it is no longer Express Issue Premier that you go to, but you go back to the Deluxe plan. So that's basically how our application works. You go down and answer the questions, and as long as you answer no, you keep going. But for example, in this example, if you get to a yes answer, then you go back to the product beforehand. So that's kind of how our applications work. But as you can see, there are different conditions listed on here, like kidney disease or lung disease, that are on the underwriting terminology sheet, which would make it easier for you to answer, because it explains what it is that we're actually looking for. So that's how our applications work. They're pretty simple, but again, they are yes, no. So if somebody answers the question yes, there really is no wiggle room with underwriting. It's either yes or no. And if it's a yes answer, that's basically the end of the story there. For example, on this slide, the yes question was about being disabled or disabled in the last 6 months, or receive any disability compensation. And that's just for people under age 65. We do have a lot of agent support. We have a robust website with all kinds of marketing and sales materials out there. As I mentioned, our mobile quote site is also available. We have tons of sales materials and marketing materials, from consumer brochures about the product to perhaps taking insurance to use it to leave a legacy to a nonprofit organization. We have a book, Smart Strategies, which are, I think there's 22 different sales ideas in that, including one that talks about stacked coverage, where you do like term, whole life, and Protector AD. And if you use the ROP term and the Protector AD, there is the refund of premium that's available. which would leave permanent coverage on your client. So that's an option depending on what their financial needs are. We do a lot of videos, webinars, smart tips or short videos, a recruiting brochure. You can link to e-app from our website. We pay all appointment fees, and we do have an experienced marketing staff. I've been doing this for 35 years. Our boss has been doing it for 35 years. One of my colleagues has been doing it for 12 years, and another has been doing it for 10 years. So we've got, about 100 and some years of experience between us to help our agents. And we are available anytime. You can email us. I can give you my cell phone. You're welcome to text me at any time. I might not always answer right away, but I will get back to you, or you can call me. So we do have people that are dedicated to supporting our independent agents. All of our sales materials, webinars, and all that, there's no cost to any of that. And we do have, it's kind of a nice piece. It's a flip chart. It's actually for people just starting out. So if you've recruited someone that needs a little help, is new to the insurance industry, this flip chart is for final expense. And it's basically a way for an agent to sit in front of a client and have a sales track that they can verbally follow. We had a sales track approved by legal, so that client sees one side of the flip chart and the agent sees his script on the other side. It's a great sales tool for training, for using with clients, for just getting an idea of what it is you might want to say about final expense. So it's a good piece, and it's very popular. We also have another piece that you might laugh a little bit, but they're sample checks. And the checks are made out for $10,000 each to a beneficiary, but they're the same size as the checks we actually send out. And it's a great way to leave the client a reminder of what they've just done for their beneficiary. You can put your contact info on the back if they have any questions, but it's something they can put up on the fridge. It actually looks like a check. And sometimes it's hard for people to think about insurance because, there's really nothing tangible there. It's all in the policy, but this check gives them something to hang on to that says, this is what I did for my loved ones. It's a nice piece, and it's very popular. We also have great incentive trips. I don't know if any of you have looked at what we've done before, but our qualifications are reasonable, and we take people to some pretty amazing places. We've gone to Russia, we've gone to Aruba, we've gone to Vatican City, different cruises, St. Lucia. The one coming up for next year is St. Martin, and this year's is an Alaskan cruise. So some really great destinations. It's $75,000 in premium for writing agents. So it's a great opportunity to see the world. Our theme for this is Color the World, and that's what we do. We take you everywhere, anywhere. The Ireland trip was particularly nice. The agents got to stay in a 5th century castle, which was quite an experience, and to do castle-y kind of things like falconry and play pigeon shooting, of course, golf, that kind of thing. Great place, Ireland. So that's the incentive part of it, the fun part of what we do. And those are my disclosures. Now, I think I might have gone through this relatively quickly, but Brian, what would you like me to cover in more detail?
Well, we do have a few questions that came in while you were going through that. So if you kind of want to go through the questions, I'd like to address, some of the concerns or like I said, or questions that some of the agents have, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. So the first question that we have here, that the agent is asking if the products are available or approved for Indiana.
Yes,
Cut and dry.
they are.
I like that.
Yeah, no, they are all approved. And we do have a reference guide on our website that under the information tab on the homepage that lists
Mhm.
the state approvals as well as the application form number that you use for each product. So like in Indiana, all products are approved and all the apps are out there. In Massachusetts, however, our guaranteed issue is not there. Our express issue whole life is not there, nor is the accidental death plan, but the other products are approved. So this product availability sheet would be a great reference tool. I can send that to you to distribute after the
Okay.
PowerPoint or after the webinar is over if you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so the next question, and for as far as new agents are concerned, can you explain what PHI and APS mean? The
Yes,
two terms that were used. Hmm.
sure. A PHI is a personal history interview. It's a telephone call between the insured and our interviewing company, which is named IBU. The people that conduct the PHI are all seasoned underwriters, and the agent will call in to set the phone interview up and then give the phone to the insured, and they will answer the questions. And while that phone interview is going on, there's a prescription database search as well as an MIB search. And the MIB is a system that shows if clients have applied for coverage with other carriers. So that's going on during the PHI. An APS is an attending physician statement, which means records from their family doctor or their specialist or whatever. So that's what an APS is. And as you can imagine, those can sometimes be 50 or 100 pages long, depending on the health situation of the insured. So that's why we found it's just not productive to order all that paper, have it all faxed into us from the doctor's office, go through the time it takes to actually read through 100 pages of medical conditions and then still come up with the same answer as before the APS. We discourage them. We really do.
Right, right. And on top of that, many times it adds weeks onto the decision
That is
as
correct.
far as the time it takes to get everything back. Yeah. So, but thank you for that. I know sometimes we have new agents that may not know all the different acronyms. So I appreciate you going through that.
That's
so
fine.
the next question.
Wait 1 second. I would say on the PHI that those tend to take 15 minutes, no, not more, unless there's something comes up and the underwriter is looking for additional information. But those are really very quick. And if you can't do it at point of sale, we'll arrange to get the PHI done for you.
Okay, great. So Miguel has a question, and he says, I deal with a lot of foreign people that move to the U.S. They're legal with either a visa or with a form I-797 waiting for a green card. They have socials and file taxes. Is United Home Life okay with this? So basically, what is your policy as far as that is concerned?
Well, it's a great question, and the answer happens to be on our product portfolio piece. When it comes to foreign nationals, we will accept an application for someone who is not a naturalized U.S. citizen, provided the applicant is in the U.S. legally, is here on a permanent basis with a valid Social Security number, a valid visa or green card, and has been in the U.S. for 2 years. If they've been here for less than 2 years, it's not going to fly.
Okay. So they have to be here on a permanent basis. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, next question. I'm sorry about that. It says, I am a member of the Indiana Farm Union. Do you have any marketing tools that I can get to the farmers?
That are directed specifically at farmers? Is that
Uh, I I would guess so.
okay? We don't have anything directed specifically at farmers because the parent company of United Farm Family Life is Indiana Farm Bureau. So we would be crossing into their realm, if you will, if we started publishing information for farmers in the state of Indiana. But we could possibly come up with something. And so whoever asked that question, if you just give them my contact information, I'd be glad to see if there's something that we could come up with specifically for farmers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Charles, we'll reach out to you to get that information and see if we can do something for you. So the next question, the provider AD plan, can we do healthcare workers?
Protector AD, the accidental death benefit plan.
I believe that's what they meant. Yes.
Okay, on Protector AD, yes, you can do healthcare workers, but the cause of death has to be ruled accidental by the coroner, and a disease doesn't apply. So you can put accidental coverage on healthcare workers who are driving more, who are spending more time at work or what have you, but if they contract COVID, that wouldn't be covered under that plan. But it is available for, especially like EMT workers who are driving ambulances hither, thither, and yon. If something happened and someone plowed into the ambulance and the EMT was covered with Protector AD and they were killed in the accident, it was ruled an accident, then it would pay out.
Okay. Okay. And so the next question here is from Renee. She says, I had an Uber driver ask me about the Protector AD, and they asked if something tragically happened to him, like killed by a gunshot while driving, would that be considered an accident?
It has to be ruled an accident by the coroner. I don't know how a coroner would look at that particular situation. My guess is that it would not be because they were killed by the gunshot, not by an accident.
Okay. Hopefully that we don't have to worry about that.
But if you've got clients who like fly commercially for business, that kind of thing, and God forbid the plane goes down, yes, that would be covered under Protector AD.
Okay, very good. And Monique asks, what does a 5-year look back mean?
A 5-year look back means that there's a 5-year period in which we're going to look at what health issues the client may have had. If they were diagnosed with cancer, for example, 6 years ago and now they're in remission, they don't have to answer the question about cancer yes, because it was beyond 5 years ago on a term plan or beyond 2 years ago on a final expense plan. So if they were diagnosed within the last 6 months, then it's a knockout. But if they were diagnosed longer ago, then the 2-year look back on whole life or the 5-year look back on term, then they don't have to answer the question yet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So you're not looking back further than 5 years.
That's right.
Okay, excellent. So the next question is, can you explain the 2-year guaranteed issue? So
Sure.
can you, as far as, I guess they're asking as far as a breakdown, as far as the first year and then the second year, what it looks like.
On the graded benefit plan, if death occurs within the first 2 years, depending on what state we're in, it's either a refund of premium or it's a very reduced face amount that's paid out. Mm-hmm. So we do refund the premiums with interest in those first 2 years, but beginning day 1 of year 3, it's full benefit. So if the client died in the 3rd year and the 4th month, they're getting a full benefit. If they died in the 1st year in the second month that's a refund of premiums, and it creates a chargeback to the agent as well.
Okay, excellent. And then the next question, the last question here, is return of premium available on any products besides Protector AD?
Return of premium is available on term, the 20-year ROP term plan. It works the same way. At the end of 20 years, we'll do a refund of the annual premiums paid. And we do have some great materials on our website that speak to that sales concept there. So the 20-year term would be great for mortgage protection. If they've got 20 years left to go on a mortgage, and at the end of 20 years, they haven't needed to use it and their mortgage is paid off, they can get a refund of their annual premiums. Or, this is really nice, on the ROP term, they can take that amount of cash value that's built up to equal 20 annual premiums and purchase reduced paid up insurance for their clients that stays in force to age 95 with no more premiums due. And that gives them coverage out to age 95 with no premiums at a reduced face amount. It's not the face amount of the policy, but it is a reduced face amount.
That's
so
good.
It's a great option.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to thank you for going through all of this information. I mean, we've had a lot of agents asking for this as far as United Home Life and them having an opportunity to really learn a little bit more about your products. So
Right.
before we do wrap things up here, is there anything that you want to say in closing to the agents that are on the line with us?
I would just say, I know that there are final expense carriers out there. There are other carriers that do simplified issue, but things that set us apart are low face amounts, issue ages down to 20 on the final expense plans. And as I said, there aren't many carriers out there that will go that low. The simplicity of our application, being a yes/no app, and the fact that everything is on e-app. So even in this uncertain time with the coronavirus, you can still write business without having to sit in front of your client. Those are things to think about when it comes to United Home Life and United Farm Family Life. And we are in 48. We're in 48 states plus DC. We don't do Alaska or New York. Those are the only two states we don't do anything in.
Yeah. And one of the things that you just said, as far as the final expense going down to 20, that's something that we come across all the time. We have someone younger that's looking for a final expense plan. They're under 50, which is normally what you find with a lot of carriers. And there's just, there's nothing that you can do as far as final expense is concerned for them. So that's an awesome option to know that we have as far as United Home Life is concerned. Okay, so at this point, Cindy, I want to thank you again for everything that you went through today, all of the information. I know that our agents got a lot from it. And anyone out there, any of our attendees that are on the line, once again, we are going to be doing afterwards, we are going to be doing a drawing. We're going to draw a name for someone to actually receive an umbrella. And Cindy, you described the umbrella a little better than I could say. So tell them just a little bit about it.
This is an awesome, huge umbrella, golf umbrella. It's vented at the top with elastic straps in there that prevent it from being blown inside out. It's got a great case that it, can keep it safe in your car. I'm terrible about it. I never use the case. I just leave it open in the back of my car. But it's absolutely huge. You can easily fit 3 people under this umbrella. It's great.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a drawing after the webinar ends, and when I send out the email, I'll actually let everyone know who the winner is. So I'll have it listed on the email, and then we'll actually if we don't have your information, we'll get your information, and we'll make sure that we get that. Cindy's going to get that sent out to you. It'll
go out this week. We're open for business, even though a lot of us are telecommuting. Our inventory is open at the home office, so I'll just email them and ask them to send out the umbrella, and they'll do that.
Good. So once again, I want to thank all of you for taking some time out of your day. Hopefully you learned something that is going to help you in your business. If you are not contracted with United Home Life, or UHL as we call it, please make sure that you do that. Go into your Sure LC or Surance Bay portal and request to be appointed with United Home Life. If you are not appointed or contracted with Messer, please give us a call. We have this type of training all the time throughout the year, normally a few times a week. I want to make sure that we want to make sure that we're investing into your business. And make sure that you give us a call. Talk to someone in our marketing department at 866-568-9649, extension 7819, or you can email us at mfgmarketing@messerfinancial.com. So once again, we will be having webinar workshops scheduled throughout the year with valuable information like you just heard. But for now, I want to thank you all so much for joining us. And make sure that you take care of yourselves and everyone around you. Have a great day.
Thank you.